Hi Reddit. I'm going to try and make this as coherent as possible, but it's been one hell of a year and writing this already feels like I'm opening a wound I've tried so hard to close. But I need to know, was I the Aholi, or did I just finally stand up for myself after a lifetime of being everyone's doormat? I, 29F, was supposed to get married last summer. I had everything planned, down to the candles on the tables and the exact playlist for our first dance. My fiancé, Evan, 31M, and I had been together for 4 years. We were solid. Or at least, I thought we were. And my younger sister Zoe, 27F? She was my maid of honor. My best friend. Or so I thought. Growing up, Zoe was the golden child. My parents adored her. She was bubbly, gorgeous, always the center of attention. I was the smart one, the quiet one, the responsible daughter who kept her head down and didn't cause problems. I didn't mind too much, I just stayed in my lane. Until Zoe got older and the chaos became harder to ignore. Zoe went through a long phase of bad relationships, job hopping, and general instability. Every time she'd mess something up, I was there. Need a place to crash? I'd make up the couch. Need money? I'd drain my savings. Every time, she'd promise it was the last time. Spoiler, it never was. But despite all that, I still loved her. Because she was my sister. And family sticks together, right? When I got engaged to Evan, Zoe was the first person I told. She cried. She hugged me so tight. She said, "You deserve this. You deserve someone who finally sees how amazing you are." I still remember that moment because, God, if I'd known what was coming, I'd have walked away from both of them that day. Evan was everything I thought I wanted. He was calm, thoughtful, funny, affectionate. We met at a conference, we both work in environmental policy, and started dating shortly after. He was the first man I ever felt really safe with. I let him into every part of my life, including Zoe. At first, it was innocent. Zoe would text me funny memes about wedding stress and CC Evan. Or she'd show up at our place with wine and suggest the three of us watch movies. Sometimes she'd hang around after I went to bed, and I didn't think anything of it. In hindsight, I was willfully blind. Or maybe I just wanted to believe my sister and my fiancé could love me enough to never cross that line. About 6 weeks before the wedding, things started to feel off. Evan was distant. He blamed stress. Zoe was harder to reach. She blamed her new job. My mom chalked it all up to wedding nerves, and I let it go. Until one night, one incredibly stupid, lucky night, I borrowed Evan's iPad to check our wedding budget file. And forgot it was linked to his phone. A message popped up. From Zoe. Zoe, missed your hands on me last night, face blowing a kiss, you coming over tomorrow before she gets home? My stomach dropped. I opened the thread. I scrolled. And scrolled. And scrolled. Months. Of messages. Some tame. Some explicit. Some deeply emotional. They called each other soulmates. They joked about me. They had plans. She even sent him a photo of her in my wedding dress. She had tried it on when I wasn't home and sent it to him as a joke. My hands were shaking. I couldn't breathe. I threw up in the kitchen sink. I sat on the cold tile floor for hours, rereading every word until the iPad died in my hands. And then I got up. Packed a bag. Left the ring on the dresser. And drove to my friend Cassie's house, where I cried for 2 straight days. Everyone wanted answers. Evan blew up my phone. My parents called nonstop. Zoe texted me like nothing had happened, asking where I went, if everything was okay, telling me not to freak out. So I did something I never do. I told the truth. I sent a group message to my entire immediate family, including Evan, and told them exactly why the wedding was off. I attached screenshots. I said I needed space and that neither Evan nor Zoe was to contact me again. The fallout was nuclear. My mother was furious with me. She said I'd humiliated the family and exaggerated things. That Zoe just made a mistake and I shouldn't have aired our dirty laundry. My dad? Silent. As always. Zoe denied it. Claimed it was a joke that got taken out of context. Evan admitted to the affair but said it meant nothing. That he was just confused and that I was too intense about the wedding. As if that justified sleeping with my sister. Then came the kicker, they stayed together. Yup. Evan and Zoe. Just decided to date. Publicly. My mom forgave her almost immediately. She invited them over for dinner. Told me I was being immature and vindictive by not coming home for the holidays. Said I needed to get over it and move on. So I did. In my own way. I cut them all off. Blocked Evan and Zoe. Told my mother I wouldn't speak to her until she apologized for blaming me for their betrayal. Moved into a new apartment. Started therapy. It was brutal. The first few months felt like withdrawal. I had no family. No wedding. No closure. Just silence and grief and rage and more grief. But slowly, things got better. Cassie stayed by my side. I reconnected with friends I'd neglected. I started writing again, something I hadn't done since college. I found myself in ways I didn't know I'd lost. And then, last month, I got a call. From my mom. She was crying. I almost hung up, but curiosity got the better of me. Turns out Zoe and Evan broke up. He cheated on her. With her best friend. Left her without warning. Just packed up and moved to Seattle. And now, suddenly, my mother wants to rebuild. Says Zoe feels awful and wants to apologize. That we're family, and family forgives. I laughed. For the first time in a long time, I actually laughed. Because here's the truth. I don't hate Zoe. I just don't trust her. And I don't want people in my life who only want me when it's convenient. I told my mom I might consider speaking to Zoe one day, but on my terms. Not because she got her heart broken and wants comfort. Not because it's convenient for her now. And definitely not because my mom wants to pretend like none of this ever happened. My boundaries are not revenge. They're self-preservation. But now some family members are calling me cruel. Saying I destroyed Zoe's life by exposing her and ruining her reputation. That I should have handled it privately. That if I had just stayed quiet, maybe things could have been fixed. So Reddit AITA for telling the truth about why I cancelled my wedding, even if it blew up my sister's life. Update, 3 months later. A lot has changed. Zoe sent me a handwritten letter. No excuses. Just a real apology. I haven't responded. I don't know if I will. But it mattered. My mom has stopped pressuring me. I think she finally realized I'm serious about my boundaries. And me? I'm doing good. I started dating again. Slowly, cautiously. No one serious yet, but I'm hopeful. I published an essay about grief and betrayal under a pseudonym. It went viral. I got invited to speak at a women's empowerment retreat. I wake up in the morning and I breathe. I look in the mirror and I recognize the woman I see. She's strong. She's scarred. But she's free.